Hey guys, I'm back with another Batmobile, and this time we're going to be taking a look at one of the most anticipated models in my collection. This is the Eaglemoss subscriber special of the Batmobile from Batman Arkham Knight. Now, ever since the video game was announced, collectors like myself were wondering if Eaglemoss would produce a special edition of the Batmobile. For those of you who don't know, Eaglemoss is ultimately planning to release 80 different models of the Batmobile, but every once in a while they will release an additional subscription special. A little over a month before the game's release date, they announced this special issue for the Arkham Knight Batmobile, and ever since they made that announcement, I have been anxiously waiting for it to come in. So let's check it out. As always, we'll start off by looking at the magazine here. The cover has one of those popular images that we've seen of this new Batmobile, and the back here, it includes a great overview of both Arkham Asylum and of Arkham City. And there's a section up front here on this page that mentions the digital comic prequel to Arkham Knight, which is a great read. The comic shows us how the Arkham Knight has actually been stalking Batman since the end of Arkham City. If you guys haven't seen that comic, I'd highly recommend it. It also gives us some great background information on where this Batmobile comes from. And as always, we have the standard blueprints on this page. Always one of my favorite sections of the magazine. And then the fold-out, it gives us a breakdown of all of the awesome features, and it shows us the cross-sections of this Batmobile. Now, it lists many of the features that we've already heard about with this new Batmobile, but knowing that we'll be able to upgrade the features and the capabilities, I can only imagine what we'll actually be able to do with the Batmobile in the game. So, let's take a look at the diorama that Eaglemoss has given us. It's a display of the Batmobile in Gotham City. And, we've seen a lot of gameplay footage leading up to the game's release, but I imagine we've only seen a fraction of the scope and the scale of Gotham City in this game. I think the image on the 3D lenticular here is based on a shot from the recent gameplay trailer, Officer Down. It's the one where Batman swoops in to rescue this police officer, and he's taking down all these thugs left and right. And it's all happening next to this roundabout with this statue in the center. There's also this smashed up police car and a taxi cab. The 3D image also shows us some of the thugs who are causing chaos on the streets of Gotham. It's a really cool trailer, and I think one of the reasons why they chose this particular location for the display is because right after Batman rescues the police officer, he evens the odds by calling in the Batmobile. And then there's this big chase scene that involves Batman trying to track down this thug in the Batmobile. Now, the base is just a print of the pavement on the street there. It's another basic diorama that really highlights the Batmobile on the streets of Gotham. For sure, one of the things that I'm most looking forward to doing with this game is just exploring Gotham City. Rocksteady has always done an exceptional job with giving the players plenty to do during free roam, and exploring Gotham City with this new Batmobile is going to be an awesome addition to the gameplay. Alright, let's take a closer look at this model in the Batcave, because I think without a doubt it's the best version of the Arkham Knight Batmobile in my collection. I think Eaglemoss knew that the fans were really looking forward to this one, so they went out of their way to make it as detailed as possible. Now, this Eaglemoss Batmobile seems to be primarily made from high-grade plastic, and the detail in the sculpt of the body is unreal. All of the sculpting on the hood and around the cockpit there. You have those gold-painted vents on the front. And the halogen lights that are on the front tires, those are separate pieces. And the detail on the tires is just absolutely amazing. You have the bat symbol on each tire. You can see the different layers on the gyroscopic wheels and the brakes. It's very cool. The paint apps are all well done on the tires, and that continues on the side and on the battle turret. Let me give you a closer look here on the sculpting of the battle turret, because I think they did a really good job with it. One of the big questions that collectors had when there was talk of Eaglemoss doing this model was whether or not it would be displayed in Pursuit or battle mode. Remember, this is a transforming Batmobile. I think that they made a great choice to compromise and display it in pursuit mode, but with the battle turret deployed. I think the shape of the body, it's exactly like what we've seen with the gameplay footage. And check out the back here. The passenger compartment of the trunk, those yellow vents on the top, the sculpting of the afterburner in the middle there. And I know it's a small detail, but I love the fact that they painted the red taillights. It's pretty cool. Again, I think Eaglemoss knew that fans and collectors were really looking forward to getting an Arkham Knight Batmobile, and I think they made every effort to deliver a high-quality model. They've had quite a few great models in this line of Batmobiles, but there are always a few that just sort of stand out among the rest. And I would definitely include this one in that category of exceptional models. So, comparison time. I just want to do two quick side-by-side comparisons here. First, I want to do a side-by-side with the Eaglemoss Arkham Asylum Batmobile. These look great next to each other, and I think that the scale is really nice. The Asylum Batmobile has always been one of my favorites, and while I've always liked the Arkham Knight Batmobile, I kind of like it more and more each time I see it, especially having this model in hand now. I can only imagine how much I'm going to like it after I actually get to play the game. All Eaglemoss models are supposed to be a 1/43rd scale, but they do have a tendency to sometimes end up being a little bit bigger than that. Now, the comparison that I really wanted to do was with the Hot Wheels Elite 1/43rd scale Arkham Knight Batmobile. I did a review of this one in my last video. These are both advertised as a 1/43rd scale, but there's obviously a big difference in size. I tend to think that the Hot Wheels is more accurate in terms of scale, in terms of it actually being a 1/43rd scale, but I really don't mind the fact that the Eaglemoss is a bigger scale. Actually, I love it because it's a bigger model, because in my opinion, it's definitely more detailed. There's more visual interest because of the sculpt, because of the paint apps, and because of their choice to display it with the battle turret deployed. So the big complaint that I always hear about Eaglemoss Batmobiles is the fact that they don't have any features or moving parts. They don't even have moving wheels. But you really have to understand what it is that you're getting. The Eaglemoss Batmobiles are strictly models. They are definitely straight up display pieces, while the Hot Wheels is more like a traditional die-cast car with moving wheels that you can actually play with. To me, the lack of moving parts on these Batmobiles, it doesn't take anything away from it. Eaglemoss is better known for making these lead figurines and chess pieces. And we don't look at these chess pieces and say, oh, it's a great sculpt, but I wish it had better articulation. It's just understood to be for displaying on your desk or bookcase or whatever. In terms of a display piece, I think Eaglemoss really knocked it out of the park with this Arkham Knight Batmobile. In closing, I think this is without a doubt one of the best Batmobiles in this Eaglemoss line. It's so well executed. All the paint apps are clean, the sculpt is very detailed and intricate, and very faithful to the source material. Again, I think Eaglemoss knew that collectors were really hoping that they would release this special edition, so they really wanted to make sure that they could deliver a great looking model. I'm sure we've all heard by now about the cancellation of the Batmobile edition of the Arkham Knight video game. I was one of those who had pre-ordered the Batmobile edition, and it was such a disappointment that they were unable to release it. Now, I know this Eaglemoss Batmobile doesn't necessarily have the same transforming features like that one was supposed to have, but in terms of a display piece, I think this is the best Arkham Knight Batmobile currently available. You can, of course, get one with your Eaglemoss subscription, and I know you can also order it from secondary markets like Big Bad Toy Store. As always, I have to thank my great friend Stewart Murray 47 for helping me get this amazing Batmobile and adding to my ever-growing collection. Thank you to all of my old and new subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, I do hope you take the time to subscribe and maybe check out some of my other Batmobile videos. And I'd love to know what you guys think about this one. So feel free to leave me a comment about this Batmobile, or maybe even share your thoughts about the game and the Arkham universe in general. So, we've been looking at the Eaglemoss Batman Automobilia Subscriber Special, the Batmobile from Batman Arkham Knight. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.